Bitcoin price dips below 40K as FTX hits back from beyond the grave, with news coming out that the bankrupt crypto casino was unloaded $1 billion worth of GBTC onto the market. Is the FTX capitulation over, or is there more selling to come? Plus, we dive into wash sale trading rules, one major but lesser known benefit to holding real Bitcoin over these ETFs. SBF, FTX, ETFs, WTF. Welcome to the Monday, January 22nd edition of the Bitcoin ETF Daily Show. I'm Dante Cook, head of Swan Business. In this show, we discuss the latest news, events, winners, losers, and key information surrounding these historic Bitcoin ETFs. Here at Swan, we're on a mission to educate the world about Bitcoin. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel to extend our reach and help us cut through the noise on YouTube. Taking a look at Friday's numbers, Fidelity took the lead over BlackRock in both volume and inflows for the second day in a row, seeing $500 million in volume and $222 million in net inflows. The race is heating up between the two funds, each holding just over $1 billion in assets under management. Fidelity is winning in volume today, so we'll see tomorrow if they keep the streak of leading inflows alive. In regards to Friday flows for all ETF issuers, we saw a total of $43.5 million of net inflows, with GBTC once again putting the most downward pressure on that number, having $590 million exit the fund. GBTC deposited over 15,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase Prime, making that a total of 63,991 Bitcoin, or $2.68 billion since the ETF started trading. In total, we've seen over $2.7 billion in Bitcoin sent to Coinbase and over $3 billion in net outflows. So although we don't know if all of this Bitcoin is being sold versus simply being custodied, we can assume that the majority of it is being sold. With GBTC having the highest fees at 1.5% and still trading at a slight discount to NAV of real Bitcoin, we will likely continue to see the trend of outflows for the foreseeable future. Now on to our big news for the day. Despite seeing over a 200% increase in Bitcoin trading volume, with over $29 billion in the last 24 hours, the price is down almost 4% below 40,000. And for the first time, we think we have a legitimate reason why. It's been confirmed that a large portion of outflows from the Grayscale Trust were due to the fact, according to CoinDesk, FTX has sold over 22.3 million shares of GBTC, worth around $1 billion after the ETF started trading on January 11th in an estate sale. There's conflicting reports out there on whether they've sold 100% of their GBTC shares in the estate sale or 2/3 of it. But we can conclude some positive news from this. If FTX wasn't offloading its GBTC shares the last week, the ETFs would have doubled in inflows with over $2 billion in total, making an already successful launch even more historic. Scam bankster fraud has been one of the largest deterrents to Bitcoin and Bitcoin investors for the last 3 years. And like a mob boss, he's still able to affect Bitcoin's price from behind bars, or in his case, in a luxury condo with a view of the beach. So much for justice, right? We will likely continue to see a rotation out of the high-fee GBTC spot ETF product into lower-cost alternatives, but ultimately, those funds are simply rotating into other products and not exiting Bitcoin altogether. If you're new to Bitcoin, drawdowns help to turn you into a hodler, like Rocky hitting meat to toughen up those trading hands into diamond hands. You're breaking the ribs. Zoom out. Let's start with a chart. Speaking of FTX, Bitcoin's price has increased over 136% since FTX filed for bankruptcy on November 11, 2022. You want to hold Bitcoin in your portfolio for its volatility, not in spite of it. It's no secret that Bitcoin is a volatile asset. This volatility makes it extremely difficult for investors and traders to try to time when Bitcoin's price is going to rise or drop. But the majority of Bitcoin's gains historically have occurred in short, explosive movements to the upside. It's absolutely vital that you don't miss these days to capture the upside volatility in gains from Bitcoin's price appreciation. As you can see in this chart here, we're looking at a range from 2018 through 2023. Here are the top 15 trading days for Bitcoin's price appreciation. You can see the top trading day for Bitcoin's price increase coming in at over 28%, and the 15th place coming in at just over 15%. We ran some numbers for you with our free Bitcoin portfolio analysis tool, the Nakamoto portfolio. If you want to see how Bitcoin can impact your investment portfolio, visit the website listed in the show notes. Over the last 4 years, if you missed out on owning Bitcoin during the top 10 3-day periods, you end up with a 55.3% return instead of a 1,053% return. Key lesson: don't trade your Bitcoin. By missing the days when it rips higher, you're forfeiting your right to lift your arms at the top of the steps in front of the Liberty Bell as a champion. And with the price declines of Bitcoin, I want to highlight another key reason for why directly owning Bitcoin is far superior to buying an ETF. With Bitcoin being deemed a commodity and property by the IRS, CFTC, and the SEC, it's not subject to the wash sale rules like a security or these Bitcoin ETFs. This means that if the price of Bitcoin is trading below the price at which you purchased it at, you can sell it and rebuy it immediately to capture the capital loss for your taxes and offset any capital gains you may have or lower your taxable income. With a security like IBIT or FBTC, you cannot sell and rebuy the same asset for 30 days if your cost basis is higher than the current price. Given everything that I just explained about Bitcoin's upward volatility, you're not going to want to risk the price of Bitcoin ripping way higher in that 30-day period, which you can't purchase it back. By holding real Bitcoin, you're able to sell and buy immediately, so you get all of the positive price action and the maximum tax benefits. With that, we're signing off for the day. If you're enjoying these daily Bitcoin videos, subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next one. Until tomorrow, I'm Dante Cook with Swan.com. Happy stacking.